Hello, hello. My name is Becca, and we are here navigating life bit by bit. So let's get planning. Today, you guys, today is for the bookworms out there. If you love to read, if you enjoy reading, or maybe you're not a bookworm, maybe you need a little bit of inspiration to get back into reading. That is me. I'm going to talk about that as we go through here. But today, you guys, today I am introducing my reading organizer, and I'm really excited to share this with you. I'm going to, as we go through, I'm going to share what inserts I have in here, how they can be used, and I'm going to share a little bit of my story. Because here's the thing, a lot of you, or some of you I should say, already know this, but I have over the years, I have been a reading specialist. I've been a comprehension specialist. I've managed reading tutoring clinics. I've been a private reading tutor. And yet here I am in a slump where I do not enjoy reading for pleasure. I don't enjoy, at this moment in my life, I don't ever sit down with a book and get excited to read it. And I used to love reading for joy, reading for pleasure, reading for my own enjoyment, right? And so I've really wandered away from that, and I want to bring that back into my life. So let me share how I am doing that with you. Now, I'm going to be honest, I set this up almost a year ago, you guys. Maybe even over a year ago, right around a year ago. But my point is, it was kind of collecting dust on the shelf. And so I am pulling it out, and I am making it a goal of mine to incorporate this into my daily life. So let me give you a little look. We're going to start on the outside, and then we'll dive in. So the cover I chose is inspiration for me. The name of this cover is called The Secret Garden. I love it. This is a size large. It has this beautiful blue spine. It has this gorgeous floral design. It's called The Secret Garden, and that's why I chose it, because I absolutely love the book The Secret Garden, written by, Frances Burnett, I believe it is. It's a classic, you guys. It's from the early 1900s, so it is definitely a classic. But The Secret Garden, it really captures the idea of transformation, how a neglected, closed off space could come back to life with care and attention. And honestly, I felt like this cover was very symbolic for the reading life right now for me. I wanted something that reminded me that joy and growth are always possible when we return to the things that we love. So let me share how I have this set up. I'm going to share 7 reading inserts that I have in here, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. So here is my reading organizer all set up. Again, it's a size large. I stick a little pad of Post-it notes in here. If you have a pad of Post-it notes, just take that last little piece, just simply slide it into the pocket here. And that way you always have a little pack of Post-it notes if you need them for anything on hand. But the heart of what I'm going through today are these 7 inserts. So I'm just going to start at the beginning, the currently reading insert. So let me show you the blank pages and how you can use this. Love this insert, you guys. So if you have a little printer, I use my Sprocket. Here's a Sprocket printer. There's lots of other little printers you can use. But if you have a mini printer or a big printer even, you can print out a little picture of the book that you're reading if you want to keep a catalog like this. And then you can record everything while you're reading. So the book, the author, the genre, when you started the book, when you ended the book. If it wasn't a book for you and you were unfinished, just check that you unfinished it, and then you know. When you are done, you can choose 1 through 5 stars to rate the book. As you're reading, you can log while you're reading the date and how many pages you've read that day. And then there's a space down here for the summary notes, and then you can record the next in the series. I pulled out the last bookshop because, you guys, this was the last book I started and left unfinished. So I'm going to show you real quick. You can see back here, I started this back in May 17th, 2024, you guys. So I'm coming back to this one. I'm going to be reading this one. But the last bookshop, I wrote the author, the genre. I wrote when I started. I wrote when I was reading and how many pages. I only got 26 pages into the book. So I am starting it over again. But then also down at the bottom, I have the next in series. I wrote when it was released, or at that time it was coming, but it has been released. So I know I could get that and I can continue on with my reading journey if I love this book. That is the first insert that I have in here. The next one I have, let's move on to books read. All right, books read, you guys. Tracking what you read helps you see patterns in your reading life. You might notice genres you gravitate towards, or you I don't know, you might find something that you never thought you'd love, but you kind of stepped outside your comfort zone and you loved it. So it's a lot of fun to track what you read, right? Books read. So again, you've got the book, the author, the rating, the start and end dates from reading it, and the notes. It's kind of like taking that currently reading section and just summarizing it so that you can have a collection of summaries of the books you've read. All right, the third insert. And again, you don't need all of these inserts. Choose the ones that speak to you. I, of course, set up an entire organizer. You can always choose 1, 2, or 3 inserts that really speak to you. This next one I'm going to show you is the to read insert, books to read. Let me show you a blank page, and then I'm going to show you how I have mine set up. But it's super simple. You're just going to keep a list of the books, their authors, and then as you read them, you could check them off your list, right? So the way I have this insert organized in particular is I have pages where I wrote the genre or the area of the books that I want to read, such as fiction novels or young adult novels or contemporary romance or classics, right? Classics. So I have all the books that I want to read. And then let me find right here. Right here is that Lost Bookshop. That's that book I just shared by Evie Woods. Once I'm going to be reading it, or I should say currently reading it, I've highlighted that box. And then once I'm done, I'm going to come back and I'm going to cross it off. That's going to be my own system so that I know what I have bought, what I have read, all of that fun stuff, because this is going to be an ongoing list of to be read books, right? Here's my list of mystery thrillers, things like that. All right, let's move on because we all have book wish lists, right? Those books that you want to keep track of them. You want to have an ongoing wish list. So this is very similar. This is going to be the book, the author, and then you're going to check it off if you own it. It's a great way to keep an inventory of the books you have on hand if you want, the current books on your bookshelf, as well as the ones you want to add to. And when you hear books are coming out, you can jot those down. This can be a wonderful, wonderful use for anyone who is an avid reader. All right, moving on. Let's move on to our book series, right? So this is a fun one. If you have a series, an author that you love the series they're doing, maybe there's 2, 3, 4, a dozen books in the series, you can keep track of that in here. So you're going to record the actual series, the author, again, the genre, any notes you want to make, and then here you can write down the books in the series, when they were or are going to be released, and then the ratings. Let me show you real quick. Again, here's one that I set up. So I'm going to be, this is for the Lost Bookshop, but in her series by this author, I also have a few other books that I've written out and have listed. So I am going to read my way through that series and then I can track them. Real quick, this is just a fun little bookmark, but if you're watching this video and you want some fun PDF bookmarks to print out, just comment below in the comments. Let me know. Just say I want that bookmark and I will be happy to send you a PDF of that bookmark. I have a couple I can send you actually. All right, so that is the series tracking, or the book series insert, I should say. 2 more inserts I'm going to share with you. This one is a fun one, you guys. This is a collection of quotes. You know, when you're reading, you find that quote and you want to stick it in your mind and you want to be able to reference it again or pull it out when you need it. Here's where you can do that, you guys. You can write down the quote. You can name the book it came from. You can even cite the page it's on. If you don't have this when you're reading, you could always jot it down on a Post-it note and then come back and write it in here. But this is just a fun way to collect all those fun quotes that you're finding as you're reading through your book collection, right? And then we've got this very last insert, and this is our yearly book insert. This is how you bring your whole year into, you summarize your whole year, basically, right? Into review, I should say. So let's real quick hop through here. We've got book of the month. If you are somebody who reads more than 1 book a month, that's okay. You could just list it out. Books of the month. Or if you're an avid reader, if you're somebody who's devouring like 10 or more books a month, you could put your favorites on here. Maybe the 1 or 2 that stood out to you the most. However you want to work that is going to be fine. It's your insert, right? Make it yours. Here is where you can track when you're reading, what you're reading, all that fun stuff. You could see, again, I set this up over a year ago, but now I'm diving back in. So I started it in May, and here I started reading here. I tracked every day that I would read. I colored in the little box. You could, again, use this however you want. I did color coded here, so I know that the Lost Bookshop is this book, so I can track it. When I'm done, I'm going to move on to my next book, which will be a different color, and then I could see how long it's taking me to read each book, all that fun stuff. Favorite authors. Who are your favorite authors this year? You can record that. You can, each month, you guys, each month you could track what you're reading, how it's going, all that good stuff, right? Goals to read. How many hours or how many books or how many pages or anything like that? How much do you want to read this month? I made it a goal of 25 minutes a day, which would add up to about 7 hours. Again, I didn't start at the beginning. I started here on the 17th when I was setting those goals. But goals to read. Actually read. How many hours, how many minutes, how many pages did you actually read at the end of the month? Books read. If you're a slower reader and it's one book, awesome. Kudos to you. As you know, I need all the encouragement I can get to get through one book a month, right? But again, if you're an avid reader, there's plenty of room to record all the awesome books you're reading throughout the month. You can record new releases. You can record the books you've purchased. You can record all the good stuff. There's a page for each month's layout, as you can see. We're going to just skip forward here through those months. So you've got the whole year here where you can fill in each month. They're undated, so you can jump in whenever you want. You don't have to wait to January to start. You already saw my very first one starts in May. So for me, it's perfect timing because we're right here in May. And so I'm just going to start. It's a year later, but you know, it works, right? Do what works for you. All right, so we've got the monthly layouts. Then we've got the book of the year. What was your favorite book of the year in review? Your goal to read. My goal to read was 12 books in the year. And then you can record how many you actually read. Did you beat your goal? Did you come close? Were you far, far away from your goal? Did you blow it away by waves and all the good stuff, right? All right. You've got the quote of the year. If you're keeping those quotes, you can pull out your favorite quote of the year. And again, you can record what book and page it came from. Year-end summary. This can be journaling. This could be what your favorite books were, your worst books were, how you feel about reading, towards reading, all of that good stuff, right? And then, like I said, if you want a PDF bookmark, this is a cute one that just reminds me of a library card or a library due date card. What are those called? You know, the card you slip into the front of the library books. I'm drawing a blank, but if you want a fun bookmark that is like that, let me know. Again, just comment below and I'm happy to share that with you. Just one more little quick thing. I love to have pads of paper on me, so I did put another one of our long notepads in here. I just slipped that cardboard into the back pocket here, so now I have one of those long lists. We do have them individually, or this one's from an older notebook trio, or notepad trio, I should say. All right. Oh my goodness. That was a lot, right? I crammed a whole lot into this reading organizer here, but you could see how it is set up for success. It will aid me in getting back into the joy of reading for myself, the pleasure that you get from reading, all that good stuff, right? I love how it helps me wind down at the end of the day. I love how it just gives me a little bit of getaway time during the middle of the day or even early in the morning. There are so many benefits to reading, you guys. But again, if you're a bookworm, if you're an avid reader, if you're someone who just needs a little bit of reading motivation, hopefully this will do it for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always more than happy to help. I want to make your life a success. I want to help you find the inserts that are going to help you when you're navigating life bit by bit. And I hope that this helped. If you had some fun, hit subscribe, come follow, comment below, let me know that you stopped by. And thank you guys so much for joining.